It has been brought to our notice through various videos on social media platforms that the Municipal Corporation of Delhi and its administration has launched a massive illegal drive to pick up our community dogs.
This shows how cruel your hearts are.
Tossed in the shelter and looked after very cruel way.
Will MCD will take responsibility to bring them back in a good condition and from where they picked up?
You have created an ecological disaster in a green Delhi that is still so rich in biodiversity.
Harmless sterilized dogs have been illegally relocated with their limbs tied up in the most cruel manner.
Amid the splendid celebration of the G20 summit in New Delhi, it is imperative to acknowledge the voices that remain unheard or face hindrances. Citizens in Delhi are indeed seeking answers from CM Kejriwal and PM Modi regarding the actions related to the G20 India 2023 event. The international media is being urged to raise these important questions for the sake of our collective future. The impounding and relocation of dogs in Delhi has raised serious concerns about the actions of the CM, Mayor, MCD and participating NGOs. RISHI, a concerned citizen of Delhi, raises serious concerns about the government's actions. He expresses feelings of shame and highlights the struggles faced by educated and righteous citizens in their efforts to save the innocent. RISHI emphasizes the need for the government to rectify the situation by respectfully releasing the animals before the G20. He hopes for a redemption that aligns with the birth of Lord Krishna. As a taxpayer, RISHI urges the government to address these issues promptly. The actions of leaders and ministers have raised concerns among those who follow the Vedic way of life, as animals like cows and dogs hold sacred significance.
And if these dogs are not released back, then more hell will break loose for humans, as it will open gates of the city for the semi-feral and feral dogs that can't be domesticated. That will open gates for mass-scale rabies and inhumans via lower beings and later feral dog bites and attacks. And yes, dogs are one of the many yet very small species that carry rabies. So you are wrong in assumed perspective that only dogs carry the virus. In fact, because of the animal lovers, dogs don't carry them so much anymore. They protect you from rabies. Yet you have not removed the other smaller animals. You can't do that. So they are still carrying rabies and they are out in the open without the dogs.
The biggest concern, the worry of each and every animal caregiver is the dogs which have been picked up illegally by the MCD and tossed in the shelter and looked after very cruel way. Are they going to be returned to the original locations? What's the identification? Is MCD going to take the responsibility of returning the dogs back to their own territory without making mistakes, without relocating the dogs? This is our biggest worry right now.
The current situation with the ABC program has resulted in a chaotic and distressing environment for both dogs and humans, causing pain, suffering, and potential repercussions for all involved. If these dogs are not released, it could lead to an influx of semi-feral and feral dogs in the city, potentially increasing the risk of rabies transmission to humans.
I would like to ask our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, how can you justify the act of picking our all community dogs in very inhuman way? They are our part of life and the ecosystem, and you have unbalanced our ecosystem, and the effort of all the activists and NGOs was working since years to manage this issue. Will you take responsibility? We want all our dogs back in a good condition and from where they picked up.
The theme of G20 Summit 2023 is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which translates to One Earth, One Family, One Future. Ironically, Municipal Corporation of Delhi has been relocating street dogs illegally to make way for the summit. The move is not just unconstitutional, it is also very inhuman.
The visuals of these dogs being caught by untrained catchers, being swung around, thrown into the van, their injuries and their cries of help will leave you in tears.
This shows how cruel your hearts are. You have a cruel heart. That is why you cannot tolerate these animals around you. And you call yourself a leader? And you're presenting yourself that, oh, this is a G20 summit. Come on, guys. This is one earth, one family, one future. Have you even thought about the future without these animals, plants, and insects and whatnot around us? You'll not even live. You can't live.